Just a matter of quick introduction, because I don't think anybody knows me here from Adam or anyone else. My name is Steve Stone. I am a citizen and homeowner in this city for the last 36 years. With my wife, our children, and our grandchildren, we are now 3 generations living in St. Albert. I am a founder, or the founder, of a very successful business in St. Albert, which I created 31 years ago. Today, we have 34 employees serving our happy customers in St. Albert, Edmonton, and region. The reason I'm here today really is over the 36 years that I've lived in this city, I've never seen anything like the many, pardon my word, scandalous actions that are occurring today, which are inflicting great harm, to say the least, on our city. For this reason, Mr. Chair, I wish to present my concerns to this group of distinguished people to express the urgent need that I see to correct these things. I ask for your permission now to give me about 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes to do so. May I?
Please proceed.
Thank you very much. I mentioned there's several things that I've seen, but today I will just deal with just one item. This started about a year ago, or a little more than a year, I should say. I would like to highlight some disgraceful actions which were carried out by a sitting councillor, the city manager, and maybe others who were involved. But before I continue, I do have written documentation, reports on what I'm not going to say, but this is going to be a précis of what I'm going to say.
Yeah, please hand them out.
How many copies do we have?
I have 7 copies.
7 copies, 1 for each time.
Thank you, Mr. Stone.
Yeah, no, don't get distracted by that report right now, but what I'm going to say is contained, basically, the facts are in this report. So I ask you, don't be too overly distracted by the report in front of you, because it is a very serious concern that I do have. Okay, so as I was saying, the optics of the situation I'm talking about seems to suggest a grave violation in the hiring of a sitting councillor by the city manager for the newly renamed position of Chief Community Development Officer. The council's code of conduct explicitly states, council members shall not use their positions to obtain employment with the corporation for themselves, family members, or close associates. Now, even if the councillor had proper qualifications for the position, which in fact he did not have, it would not excuse the apparent breaking of the rules of conduct. And ladies and gentlemen, if we're going to be breaking rules of conduct, we might as well lock up the doors and move away from here. We've got to have order. The job requirement was that an undergraduate degree in engineering, planning, or business is required for the position of Chief Community Development Officer. Mr. Prefontaine does not have any undergraduate degree whatsoever, to the best of my knowledge. However, interestingly enough, there were at least 4 highly qualified engineers and planners who applied for the position, all with excellent professional credentials and experience, and all apparently rejected by our city manager. Any one of these gentlemen would have been an outstanding asset for the city of St. Albert. Instead, we end up with a surprise hiring of a sitting councillor who does not have the required qualifications for the job. Seeing this, some of us, a group of us, of which I'm part of, came about very by accident actually, through a Freedom of Information and Privacy request. Our best information shows that Mr. Draper was fully aware of these 4 applicants. Upon further research of these applicants, we discovered the qualifications of these four individuals. I'd like to read these qualifications to you so you can get an idea of how brilliant these four men were and what a great loss it is to the city. First applicant, I will not mention names. He has 20 years of government experience in professional and management supervisory role coupled with advanced postgraduate training. He's a registered professional planner, member of the Canadian Institute of Planners, and is a certified geographic information systems professional. At the time of his application, he was the senior planner, policy and special studies manager for a major city in Ontario, a city with more than double the population of St. Albert. Highly qualified man. The next application that I'm aware of has a degree from the University of Waterloo and served as Director of Engineering, Planning and Operational Services, Director of Emergency Management for a town in Alberta, and then became the Manager of Recovery for Southern Alberta for Municipal Affairs. He is currently employed as the Chief Administrative Officer in an Alberta municipality. I will not mention names. He has over 16 years as a planner in the province of Ontario. Wide experience. He has 18 years in public service in senior planning and other positions. Candidate number 3, who is interested in this job, has a master's degree in engineering and 30 years of experience in administration, budget preparation and forecasting, strategic capital program development and development as a senior civil service executive manager. He worked with Alberta Transportation as a regional director and worked for an Alberta city as a general manager of an infrastructure and planning. The fourth candidate is a graduate of Duke University School of Business and spent 3 years at the University of Alberta in the Senior Executive Manager Development Program. He's a strategic thinker and leader able to sort through ambiguity and find the best route, seeing patterns where others simply see complexity. His job experience includes Executive Director of Alberta Economic Development Authority. We lost this guy. An Executive Director, Stakeholder and Industry Liaison with the Government of Alberta. He also served as Assistant Deputy Minister, Acting Treasury Board, which was responsible for sustainable development of the oil sands. So there we have it with those four applicants. And despite the outstanding qualifications of these four gentlemen and a total number of 59 applicants, guess what? The position was awarded to a sitting councillor who does not have the bare minimum required credentials for the job. Very serious. But that's not all. That's just a touch, beginning. The fruit comes after this now. Since Councillor Prefontaine was hired as the Chief Community Development Officer, 6 key people in the engineering department and 3 key people in the planning department resigned within 8 short months of his appointment. This is double the city's attrition rate, and this is a great move to make for these guys, high risk in this economy today where there's so few jobs to be had. The 9 people who have left were in these essential positions. The Director of Engineering left. The Manager of Engineering Services left. The Director of Capital Projects and Municipal Engineering left. Capital Projects Manager said goodbye. Structure Manager, Engineering Assistant, Director of Planning and Development, Senior Planner, and a Landscape Architect all left within 8 months. Highly qualified, highly experienced, big assets for this city that we lost. With the resignation of these people in these very important positions, the city has been exposed to a very grave risk in endangering the efficiency and functionality of the engineering and planning departments. Facts, these are the facts I can come up with. The optics appear very disgraceful and is beneath what should be considered morally acceptable Now, morality is not a word we hear very often today. But I will remind you that without morals, we are lost. Period. No matter what part of society we live in. We have to respect decent morals. The engineering and planning departments have lost too many key people to continue to turn a blind eye to this situation. By your inaction, ladies and gentlemen, by your inaction, you have become an accomplice and consequently compounded the scandal. We cannot shove this under the rug. We've got to put it back out and face the situation as it is. We want to maintain our reputation as the best city in Canada to live in. This is not the best city of Canada to live in with this kind of behavior. We have to face up to these injustices, as I see them anyway. I hope you do. I don't know. You need to check it out. City Council needs to show some leadership and stop ignoring the devastating effects this decision has on the city. You need to take this muck from under the rug. It stinks. Take responsible action to restore public trust. I believe public trust was lost through this and through other events as well. But we need to restore public trust and respect. Our city has been and is poisoned by a degeneration of morals. As a citizen of St. Albert, I'm very concerned that the lack of required professional qualifications of the Chief Community Development Officer and the subsequent loss of key personnel has caused grievous harm to the delivery of very important public services to the city. Therefore, I call on Council and the administration to take the following actions. First, the Chief Administrative Officer should no longer have the sole purview of hiring staff for senior management positions for the City of St. Albert. Hiring for these positions should be done by a committee appointed by Council. A review needs to be conducted of Mr. Patrick Drapier's performance as City Manager to determine if this hiring was in fact in the best interest of St. Albert. Mr. Giles Prefontaine must be released from the position. A new competition for that position be held and a new candidate chosen by an independent committee. Mr. Prefontaine can apply, but he needs to have the qualifications to be considered. Council and the city staff who have knowledge about this hiring and the events that led up to it need to disclose fully what they know, when they came to know it, and their involvement in this hiring. We need to come clean. We need to come clean without fear. Everybody from the janitor up, or from the mayor down, everyone, equal playing here. Come clean, please. Let's get over this. Council must request that a provincial ministerial inquiry be conducted under Section 571 of the Municipal Government Act in regards to Giles Prefontaine's hiring for the position of Chief Community Development Officer. And it's no coincidence, I should say, that we have a similar case on our hands right now, 100 kilometers north of us. This report is also being manual. That's my report. But I'll let you know now that I urge you, ladies and gentlemen, to pick this up very seriously, urgently. And we are not stopping here in this room today. This report, copies of all you have, copies will also be provided to the Premier of Alberta, the Minister of Municipal Affairs, and our MLA. Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Stone.
Thank you very much.
Are there any questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Stone. Okay,
Mr. Chair, can I request a 5-minute recess to have a conversation with council?
sure.
We could,
We'll have a 5-minute recess and we'll reconvene at 2:25.